Everyone. How's it going? Happy Friday. I hope everyone has had a good past 2 weeks. I know I did not record a video last weekend because I was in Florida on vacation. I hope you all missed me and you've had past 2 weeks have been pretty good for you. Our vacation was excellent and very relaxing, beautiful weather. Enjoyed time with my family and just chilling out a little bit. So it was great. Um, Today I want to talk about um, limitations and not letting them stop you from making progress, right? I think sometimes it's useful to go ahead and identify things that might be holding you back a little bit, right? Maybe there are like physical limitations, like you have a mobility limitation, or you have a strength limitation, or if you're doing some type of cardio, um, fitness type of thing, and you have a respiratory limitation that's holding you back, or maybe you have a limitation around time, or you have a limitation around a mental limitation around making dietary changes or accepting that maybe certain foods don't work well for you, right? Maybe you have a limitation in just you have a mental limitation in how much you can currently handle at any given time, right? Maybe you just have a lot on your plate with work and kids and life in general, and so you're not able to put as much focus into your own health and well-being at the moment that you'd like to be, right? So there could be any type of limitation that is stopping you from maybe getting to where you want to be or making some progress in a specific area. But I think that in almost any case, you can probably still make progress, even if you have limitations, because everyone does, right? Um, you know, everyone has, everyone has some kind of limitation, and it's good to know what they are. It's good to, in your mind, understand that, hey, if I try to squat past parallel, that it looks really bad, and I my body doesn't feel good if I do that. It's good to know that I just can't wrap my head around eating more than 50 grams of carbs at the moment, right? Or I know that I have very limited time to put into my meal prep, or I have very limited time to put into exercising, etc. Right? But that still doesn't mean that you can't make progress towards whatever you're trying to do, right? Maybe you can't, for example, maybe your mobility limitation in your squat, right? Maybe you can't squat to 90 degrees with a barbell on your back. There's a million different ways that you can go about trying to get the same effect, challenge those same muscles without having to do a squat with a barbell on your back, right? Um, you could try a front squat, you could try a Zercher squat, you could try a sandbag squat, you could try a squat with kettlebells, you could try a split leg squat, you could try, you could, if you're at a gym, you could use a leg press, right? Like there's a whole bunch of different other things you can do to challenge those same muscles, but work around the limitation. Maybe you have, you have a time limitation. You don't have enough time um, to meal prep, right? Or enough time that you'd want to meal prep. So, what is the one or two meals or things that you can make that give you the most bang to your buck, right? So, for example, you don't have a lot of time. Can you cook something that like literally gives you like 4 to 5 meals? Maybe you go to the store and you buy two whole chickens, you season them, you stick them in the oven, roast them for an hour and a half, and you have enough meat for several meals throughout the week, right? Like you just have to be as efficient as possible. Or your workouts need to be as efficient as possible. So maybe that's the time you start to use something like hit style training to, get a lot of bang out of the limited time that you have, right? Maybe it's not something we probably want to do uh, day in day out forever, but in a time where you might be constrained for the amount of time you have to exercise, hit style training can be perfect for those times, right? Um, you know, if you have a mental capacity around eating more than 50 grams of carbs, fine, eat the 50 grams of carbs. Maybe one day you say, I'm not going to track and I'm just going to eat carbs, you know, to how I feel, and maybe that means you eat less, or maybe it means more. But it's not like you can't build muscle, lose weight, etc. if you're still trying to wrap your head around eating more than 50 grams of carbs at a time, right, in a day. So I think that oftentimes we get hung up on certain limitations and we look at them and we say, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have the ability to squat, or I just I can't bring myself to eat more carbs, and so I'm doomed, right? I'll never grow my legs because I can't squat. I'll never um, be able to improve my cardiovascular fitness because I can't spend enough time doing slow aerobic zone 2 training. I'll never be able to make healthy meals because I can't meal prep, or I never um, will be able to do high intensity exercise because I just can't wrap my head around eating more carbohydrates, right? Um, and lots of times, whenever we encounter limitations, we get this all or nothing catastrophizing mindset. And I think that we need to look at it a different way and say, okay, I have this limitation. I know what it is. It's going to take me some time to work through it. Like, whenever you find a limitation, it's not like you can just, it's very rare that it's like you're going to make this one tweak and it's going to be a simple fix and all of a sudden everything's going to be better. It's likely going to take, weeks, if not months to fix. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that in the meantime, while you're trying to address the limitation, or just waiting for a calmer time in life to deal with it, um, that you can't continue to make progress, right? So, and it doesn't have to be perfect progress. It doesn't have to be the perfect exercise routine, or the perfect meal prep, or the perfect amount of carbohydrates, or the perfect, meditation, or the perfect journaling routine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be somewhat better than what you're doing, or at least good enough, at least enough to maintain what you're doing, right? Or maintain where you're at. And so I think I myself gets caught up in that limitation mindset, and I know others do as well. So I just think that we need to accept the limitations, look at them, identify them, come up with a plan to address them, but also continue to try to make progress in a forward direction, even with the limitation. So if you have a limitation that you're struggling with, solving, or that you're trying to figure a way around and you can't figure it out, please feel free to reach out. Please, don't hesitate to send me a message or leave a comment or whatever. I'm always happy to help. So please don't be shy. If you want to get all the content that I put out on a weekly basis delivered to your inbox without having to stalk me on social media, you can go to my website at rjbhealth.coach, click the newsletter link at the top, enter your email address, and you can sign up for my newsletter. And I will email you everything that I do, everything that I put out on a weekly basis, and you can get that so directly in your inbox, so without having to stalk me on social media. And if you are interested with doing some one-on-one coaching, I do have a couple of spots open. So I'm looking for clients, and if you're interested in getting some help, achieving your goals, overcoming your obstacles, and performing as optimally as you possibly can, please reach out. You can go to my website at rjbhealth.coach and click the schedule a discovery call right on the homepage and fill out the form, and I'll get back to you. Or you can direct message me or leave a comment or whatever you want to be, whatever you want to get in contact with me. That's cool too. And with that, I will sign off, and I hope everyone has a good weekend, and I will talk to you all next week.